You are watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, the health benefits and science behind infrared saunas. With us, we have an expert on the topic. He is the CEO of Sunlighten, which is the nation's leader in infrared technology. With us, we have Aaron Zack. Welcome to the program.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, you're the CEO, also a partner, part owner in the company.
Correct.
What is your role with the company?
As CEO, I'm responsible for developing breakthrough products, ensuring that we're developing a company that's not only successful today, but going into the future. But most importantly, we want to make a difference in consumers' lives, and that's what we're truly all about.
So the health benefits of infrared sauna, what are they?
Increasing circulation, decreasing blood pressure, weight loss, pain relief. Those are just to touch a few.
Okay, good. So now what about the science? Because, I said at the top of the show, and you're the science guy.
Right.
So tell me about what you know.
Sure. Here's what we've learned. On the market previously, let's say 2000 and going forward to 2009, it was all about far infrared. And with far infrared, they were lumping all these different health benefits because of one wavelength. And what we've learned through research is that there's a ton of health benefits in the near and the mid infrared, to the point where we decided as a company that this needs to be explored more, and we want to develop a technology that can provide near, mid, and far infrared.
Now, is it true to say you're one of the pioneers?
Absolutely.
Of this other Tell me about that. I mean, how did you come up with the idea? I guess everything in the market, even today, is far infrared.
Sure.
And I guess you've identified two other, wavelengths,
well,
depths?
We felt like we perfected far infrared. So our emissivity on far infrared, emissivity is equated to efficacy, all right? So our efficacy is 95%. It's really hard to get above 95%. So we felt like we just nailed it. We had two clinical trials, one at UMKC and one in Canada, that showed increase in circulation, decrease in blood pressure, weight loss. It was awesome, all right?
All right.
So that was great. So we're thinking, okay, this is really early in our company's future. We have to think of something that's going to be breakthrough.
Was this back in 2002 for you?
This is back in 2002. It was in our solo. Okay, so we're trying to think of what's the future. How do we take this to the next level? How do we provide more benefits to our end consumer, which is what we're all about. And so we set up a cross-functional team. And in that cross-functional team, we realized that there was more health benefits with near and mid than just far alone. And there's research and science. There was a NASA study that showed that you can actually increase the speed for wound healing by using near infrared wavelengths. So what we did is we incorporated that into our overall heater and got the same wattage density and micron output to emulate that clinical trial so the consumer can have that experience in their home.
Okay, when you say, and we talked a little bit about this off camera, but you say that you built the heaters.
Yes.
I want to make sure I get this right. To be the exact same wavelengths as what was in the studies.
Correct.
Like NASA and some of the other studies.
Correct.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
And what does that mean?
Sure. So
why is that important?
Why is it important? Because today, you have on the market, there's far infrared heaters, and you turn the sun on and you get benefits, it's good. But what we really wanted to do is take something to the next level. We wanted to develop really a wellness retreat that grows with you. So imagine you wake up and today you have aches and pains. You go into your sauna and you press pain relief and you're starting to feel better. But tomorrow, maybe you're looking for detoxification. So you look for a sauna that can provide those benefits.
Based on what? I mean, and this is based on studies that are out there.
Exactly, all based on clinical trials. All based on clinical trials that are out there. And so what we wanted to do is get the right surface temperature of the heater to provide the correct wavelength. That's all backed by a Bruker showing the specific wavelengths that we can measure with our sauna to provide the most advanced wellness tool for consumers to experience. Another doctor, Waylon, who is a world-renowned thought leader in near-infrared technology, has been instrumental in helping us develop the right micron output for our sauna. He has done probably over 80 publications on near-infrared. One was the NASA study that was on wound healing.
Any other science to support the benefits of infrared?
Sure. At UMKC, we did a randomized, double-blinded, placebo-controlled trial showing an increase in circulation, a decrease in blood pressure, as well as weight loss. In Canada,
from using the infrared
From
sauna.
using our infrared sauna. In Canada, we did a study with Dr. Beaver with type 2 diabetes showing a decrease in waist circumference, which was very beneficial.
What's your take on this? I mean, how is it making you lose weight? How is it lowering your blood pressure?
It's a passive cardiovascular workout. So when you're sweating, your body is fighting to cool itself down. And when it's doing that, you're increasing your circulation, which is helping with your cardiovascular portion, and you're burning calories.
So then by, I guess, heating up your body.
Sure.
And you say from the inside out.
Correct.
Your body is using energy to cool itself down.
Correct. You're cooling yourself down, which is burning calories, and what you're doing is you're increasing your core body temperature, and you're creating a natural fever within your body that has many numerous health benefits.
Okay. Now I know, when I've looked on your website, anticipating that, knowing you're coming on the show. People wear like heart rate monitors.
Sure.
Tell me about that.
Sure. So with our Impulse technology, we have created a whole wellness site. So you would place a heart rate monitor onto your chest, and you can see how many, what your heart rate looks like and how many calories you're burning. And it takes that information and it brings it all the way to a wellness website.
Okay. Now, depending on who you talk to, some people say you could burn, I think it was Dr. Oz, you could burn 600 calories in 1 hour. On the show, The Doctors, Dr. Drew Orden, who's the plastic surgeon of the show, was sitting in one of the saunas, said you could burn up to 1,200 calories in an hour. So why is it? So is it because your body has to burn a lot of energy to cool itself down?
Absolutely. Every person is different. Everyone's experience will be a little bit different. So based on your metabolic rate, based on the size, you'll have a different experience. I think 1,200 calories is probably a little on the high side, but I think around 3 to upper end would be 600 calories would be right in the range.
So people do report weight loss.
Absolutely. It's great.
Okay. Now with the blood pressure, that's the part I'm not getting. Why is it lowering the blood pressure?
It's a cardiovascular workout. So when you're increasing your circulation, you're increasing blood flow throughout your entire body, and that's great for your cardiovascular.
So they did a study on that and measured that their blood pressure
had decreased.
Only like right after the sauna?
This was after the sauna, correct. So each user used the sauna for 30 minutes, and then after they were done, we took their blood pressure, and it was statistically significant in reduction in blood pressure.
I have a question also, since we're talking about the science. These EMF, I guess cell phones emit these EMFs. And I guess one of the dangers or possible dangers could be these EMFs from these big heaters. What's your response?
Research shows that these saunas are safe. You have the Mayo Clinic talking about how safe infrared technology is. Exponent, a publicly traded U.S. company, did analysis on our Impulse heater showing that it's a low EMF sauna. And then for those who are really, really concerned about the potential effects of low EMF, we have in our signature line ultra low EMF, which is less than 3 milligauss.
Okay, does it come up, by the way? Are
it does.
People worried about this EMF?
It does. It is something that's starting to grow where people are having an interest, and so we have a product that meets anyone's needs.
Is it about the same as a cell phone?
It would be less than a cell phone.
Okay. Now what about some of the companies, I guess, that are manufacturing with these low heaters away from your head,
right,
as a safer way to go?
Right. What we've seen is it's a creative approach to help reduce costs, because you could take a heater, which is the most expensive part of the sauna, and if you turn it sideways, you can have less heaters in the sauna, which is going to give you less square inches of infrared heat.
But there's no science to prove that it's dangerous on your head.
No. Some of the science says that your head, your cranium retains heat, but if you're inside a sauna, you're exposed to heat, so it's just a ludicrous statement.
So it's silly.
It's silly.
So it's not true.
No.
True at all. But people are worried about that.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely.
What's another fear, since you're on the show, that you can lay to rest about infrared sauna? Things that are out there in the press maybe that just aren't true.
Sure. Some individuals think that infrared is going to cook you because they have the infrared stoves and things along those lines. But infrared is not going to cook you. It's a very gentle and warm heat. It's used with newborn babies. It's been safe and effective for thousands of years.
What about the wood, the construction, and the glues and things like this? I guess some people are worried about that.
Sure.
And I thought about it. I mean, I own one of the saunas, and I was thinking, well, what's leaking in my body here?
That's a huge value to Sunlighten. We control the raw materials from start all the way through production. So we control what glue is being used. We control the wood and the raw material suppliers. So we have a product. If there's cedar and there's basswood. Individuals who use cedar like the beautiful aroma that it has. Some individuals feel that there's toxins in the tannins from the cedar. So we also have a basswood, and in the basswood, it's 100% basswood through and through. So it just keeps it a very clean process.
So what type of heating system? So I guess there's carbon, and there is ceramic.
Sure. So there's carbon, and then there's solo carbon. And so the solo carbon is our proprietary blend that has the highest emissivity. When we first started,
what does that mean, emissivity?
Emissivity equals efficacy. the more amount
Like
of
how deep it goes?
not how deep, how much infrared you're going to receive. So
All right.
our heaters, solar carbon, is 95% emissive, meaning 95% of the heat that comes off the heater is going to be infrared.
So it's
within
a
our wavelengths.
real ray of infrared.
It's a real ray. And
rather
then-
than just a typical heater.
Correct. In our impulse line, our solar carbon custom spectrum is 99% emissive.
Okay. All right. You know, we were in the green room, and I go, look, my best programs are when people come on my program and tell the truth. It's tough. Everybody wants to be politically correct.
Right.
And I said, what's the truth about what we're talking about today? Is it all in the heater? I mean, is that what makes your company different? You have better heaters? Is that fair to say?
It's with impulse. It's the heater, which is our special sauce, and it's the brain that controls everything.
The wavelength of
the heaters. So for our heaters, it's all measured on the surface temperature. No other sauna company in the world does that. They just turn the heater on or turn it off.
Okay.
But we actually have temperature sensors that measure the specific heater wavelength to make sure that you're getting the right wavelength for the program that you're.
So when I hear
desired.
95 or 99%, yours
Correct.
have been tested to be real infrared.
In the United States
Okay.
by a company called Bruker. So backing up a little bit, when I first started with Sunlighten, ceramic was the best. It was awesome. You know, and it had 95% emissive, but you have these small little heaters. So ceramic has to get really hot in order for it to heat up a room because it's small. So solar carbon is much larger. So you have a lower surface temperature, which emits more infrared, and so you're going to receive more of the sweat more and feel better experience. So ceramic used to be good, but really now is an outdated technology.
Because I also see, you know, looking on the internet, that some have a combination
Right.
of carbon and ceramic. You
And-
think that's just to cut cost, in your opinion?
No, it's not to cut costs. Think about it. It would make sense if you put ceramic and carbon together, you'd have the best of both worlds. So it kind of makes sense, but unfortunately when we tested it, Ronald Lewarchik out of Eastern Michigan tested it, and we found that it didn't increase emissivity. It actually decreased the emissivity when you put the two together.
So you have the data. Is that what you should look for then in a company, is to say, you know, what data do you have to prove that your
Absolutely.
Your heaters have the wavelengths?
There's so many companies who say just because they have a carbon heater that they have the same emissivity that we do. But we know for a fact that that's not true.
Okay.
We've seen other studies and tests, and it's shown to be around 87% emissive compared to ours, which is 95% or 99%.
And what's the hardest thing as the CEO of a company, and you run a sales force, and you have 18 different companies with 18 different plus distributors? The public, I guess, they think, you know, far infrared is far infrared. What's the toughest thing for you to get across to the public about what you do?
Not all infrared heaters are the same or created equally. And so we've spent so much time doing the clinical trials, spending the money in R&D so the consumer can have the best and most efficacious product that's available. And then you see lower cost companies and products coming to the market saying that they're the same thing when they're not. And haven't completed their own clinical trials to support their claims. I think that's probably one of the more frustrating aspects. But what we pride ourselves on is as a market leader, we do the right thing, high integrity, honor, and the rest will work itself out in the future.
And you have endorsements from the biggest name doctors in the world.
We do.
I mean, Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, Dr. Mark Hyman.
Even Oprah Winfrey,
even
I
Oprah
guess.
Winfrey, has her sauna and utilizes it.
Now, what about calling for questions? If somebody's watching this and they want to speak to a salesperson or an associate or whatever, could they speak to a live person?
Yes, we have specialists. This is all they do, is talk about infrared and how to answer your questions. So I encourage any customer or potential individual who's interested in their health and wellness and taking it to another level to call in and let us provide a free consultation.
So as the CEO, you run a sales force. They must have certain questions about why yours is different or why yours is more. You know, because you got pretty riled up in my green room. I said, how are you different than the $1,000 infrared sauna?
Sure.
So what is your response to that?
Well, first of all, $1,000 infrared sauna, we don't know all the costs that go into it. So to get it to a price point of $1,000, what shortcuts do you need to take? We don't even know what the amount of infrared emissivity is. Emissivity, once again, is the efficacy of the product.
Okay.
So we don't know. But the most important part is, let's say it is, there's attributes or benefits to it. That's good for one aspect, which is today. But with our impulse, it's going to grow into the future. So you're going to have to buy multiple saunas down the road to get what impulse can do today, which is the near, the mid, and the far.
Okay.
So you're buying a wellness retreat that's not only going to work today, but also into the future. And that's really why you'd want to make the investment today. It's a little bit more money, but it's going to save you money down the road.
Is yours a bigger heater?
It's a larger heater, but the heater can provide near, mid, and far versus a one-dimensional
So they just
heater.
have one wavelength.
One wavelength, correct.
That's how they do it. That's the trick there.
It's one of the tricks that they're using. They're using a lower quality in wood, of the thickness. I mean, there's many different aspects that we could go into, but I like to keep
Now
it
the
popular.
assembly, by the way. I mean,
Yes.
I have a Sunlighten spot. You know, when I heard, of course, Dr. Oz has one, the doctors, they're recommending it. I had to get my own. And it's put together by magnets. So that's a big difference, obviously.
It goes even further. So it's also the aesthetics and beauty of it. So it's a patented assembly process with the magnets, but on the inside, it's all magnet for the covers as well. So when you're looking inside, it's beautiful wood versus seeing all these nails and screws and other aspects that aren't really pretty. Because remember, this is a wellness retreat. You're going in to relax. You want it to be almost like a shrine, so to speak.
So it's a better looking sauna, more effective sauna than what's on the market.
Correct.
So you're the clear leader? I mean, nobody would dispute. If there was an expert, because I'm not an expert on the topic, could they dispute anything you're saying?
No, they can't. We're the leader, and we put our heart and soul into developing this product and also where we're going in the future.
So what can somebody expect as far as benefits from using your sauna, and how soon?
Sure. Benefits can start right away. Some benefits could take 3 to 4 months to realize. Every person is different. But some of the benefits that you'll experience are increasing circulation, decreasing blood pressure, weight loss. You'll see detoxification, sweating nicotine out of your system or alcohol out of your system. Some individuals have really bad knees with the pain relief. So there's a ton of different benefits that you'll be able to experience. But the most important part is you have to start your wellness journey.
Okay, sweating. I mean, that's the main thing, though.
Right.
Getting rid of these toxins.
Your skin is your largest organ. It's important that we sweat from our largest organ to keep it clean and good.
How often do you use it?
I use it 3 times a week for around 30 to 40 minutes per session.
And your wife, we've had her on the show. She's also co-owner of the business.
She is. She uses it around 2 times per week. She wants to use it more. It's hard to get it within our lifestyle.
Well, you're busy. I mean, you're all over the world, right?
We are. But whenever we have a moment and some clarity, we definitely try to get inside our sauna.
Thanks for watching The Wellness Hour, the leader in medical news with your host, Randy Alvarez, the authority on health issues.